Operation Barbarossa began on June 22, 1941, and lasted until December 5, 1942, and was fought along Russia's western border, covering a front from the North Cape to the Black Sea, a distance of 2,000 miles. This battle was fought between Germany and Russia. This operation was launched by Germany because Hitler became suspicious of Stalin's intentions and had wanted to overthrow Soviets for a long time, but had not yet had the opportunity to launch a full-on attack. So, when the Soviets took over the Baltic states, Bessarabia, and northern Bukovina, this meant that the Soviets were very close to the Romanian oil fields that Germany depended on, so Hitler took this as an opportunity to invade. Unfortunately, he sorely underestimated the strength of the Russians, who had roughly 3 times the amount of tanks and aircraft as those owned by the Germans, and, although the Germans also had the aid of Finnish and Romanian troops, they were still severely underprepared for what they were about to face. The Germans began by launching an offensive toward Leningrad, or modern-day Petersburg. At the same time, another group invaded Moscow. This caught the USSR by surprise, as they were partially demobilized and unprepared for attack. At first, the Germans were at an advantage and were able to hold back the Soviets, take down a lot of aircraft, and take many prisoners. However, the Soviets were relentless and continued fighting. The Germans were able to pass the front line of Soviets, but this left the soldiers that they had not yet taken prisoner behind them, blocking their way back and preventing more Germans from crossing the border. The Soviets prepared for attack by enforcing their scorched earth policy, cutting off a large portion of resources that could have been utilized by the Germans. They even dismantled steel and munitions plants and shipped them to the east, where they were put back to work. They also destroyed railroad cars to hinder the Germans' progress. As the Germans debated what to do next, the Russians built up their armies and prepared for battle. The winter approached and the weather became worse. The German troops were tired, but pressed on, as German leaders were sure that the USSR was on the brink of collapse. Then the winter arrived, as well as some of the most severe sub-zero temperatures in decades, decimating the German troops, who had the same uniforms as in the summer and were grossly underprepared for frostbite. They were prepared for a rapid Soviet collapse and also lacked sufficient food and medicine. By November, the Germans had suffered about 730,000 casualties. December 6, 1941, the Soviets led a massive attack on the Germans and successfully sent them out of Russia, ending the 6-month-long operation. This battle greatly weakened Germany, although the Soviets suffered more losses, and showed Germany's inability to defeat the Soviet Union. They attacked for a full year, and only then were they able to successfully gain territory.